What do the studies on fruits and berries tell us? I know that we constantly hearing good things about fruits and berries, and then occasionally we hear things about fructose itself being a concern. So, I mean, I love berries, so and so do most people. Is this all good, all anti-cancer preventing, and or are you concerned about the sugar and the fructose in this? Or if someone has, let's say, cancer, would they want to stay away from fruit or berries because of the sugar?
I answered that yesterday, so let somebody else take it today.
Okay.
I don't think there's any good data to suggest that fruits are at least harmful for cardiometabolic issues, for cancer risk. We have literal randomized controlled trials where they'll dehydrate and stuff berries into capsules and compare them to a placebo, and you see cognitive benefits. Like it's just benefit after benefit after benefit. So this is something actually I think that a lot of people sort of miss when they hear some kind of fear mongering headline or someone on social media mention some pathway or mechanism. Is we always have to sort of step back and be like, what actually happens to humans when they consume this food? Like, what is the end result? Exercise raises levels of inflammation temporarily. That doesn't make exercise bad, because at the end of the day, you live a longer life, have a lower risk of heart disease, lower risk of diabetes, etc. So we have to step back, look at what is the end result, and it's consistently positive for fruits, especially berries.
I completely agree. I don't have a lot to add. I think that these studies, the evidence is overwhelming that fruits provide a wonderful array of phytochemicals and antioxidants. The fructose there is managed quite well. A lot of it is converted in the intestinal tract before it's even absorbed. When our liver gets overwhelmed with fructose, it's because we're consuming concentrated sources of fructose from mainly ultra-processed foods, not from fruits. So we generally have the capability of managing the amount of fructose in fruit, considering the fiber and such that slows its absorption as well. So I have no concerns whatsoever about a relatively generous consumption of fruit. I think it's all good. And like Matt said, I completely agree. Berries are sort of at the top of the pile where fruits are concerned.
Absolutely agree. Couldn't add much to that. The fructose that's naturally in fruits comes in with water and fiber and vitamins and minerals, and the small amount of it does good things in our body. As Brenda said, it's when the fructose is from corn syrup is concentrated and then added to cola drinks and candy bars and all the processed stuff that piles up in our liver and gives us fatty liver. That's a problem. And fructose has gotten smeared with the same broad brush that a lot of other the carbs have gotten. But no, eat, my child. Enjoy the berries. It's good for you.
When we are told that fiber is good for us, is there a difference? Is vegetable and sprout fiber the best fiber, or is cooked beans just as good? Is whole grains just as good? Is fruit, is nuts? Like, is there any difference between the different types of raw or cooked plant fiber, or is it all the same?
There's great differences, and we need them all. They each do wonderful things down in our intestine to move the fecal mass along, but to, very importantly, feed the microbes that are living down in our colon. And the resistant starches from the beans feed one set of microbes, and the more fibrous fibers from the celery and the asparagus feed different types. And so it's the whole food mass. That's why you want to eat the rainbow for not only vitamins and minerals, but all the different kinds of fiber you're going to get from it. And so, again, eat from the garden, and your microbiome will be happy, and you won't have to take probiotics. They're all the good guys are already down there. The bad guys are down there. Feed the good guys with the fiber, and there will be harmony in your colon.
And it's one of the reasons it's so important to have variety in your diet. That the variety of fibers, viscous, non-viscous, fermentable, non-fermentable, all of these different, there's so many different types of fibers, and they all play unique and very, very important roles in the gut, and our production of short chain fatty acids will vary depending on the type of fiber. And so people that eat a, typical North American diet and pour a little, have a Metamucil drink or sprinkle a little bran on top, they're not going to be in the same league as people eating a whole food plant-based diet that are eating multiple different types of foods that provide different types of fibers. So it's, this is an important point. We need variety.
Yeah, look at the people we have speaking here. What we're advocating is kind of unique. And we all corroborate that we're eating multiple types of green vegetables, multiple types of beans, multiple types of berries, multiple types of fruit, multiple types of mushrooms, multiple types of nuts. We're actually multiple types of intact grains, and we're eating. So we're actually within each category, we've been eating multiple types. So we have a huge diversity, which gives us this opportunity to have a better health and longer life and better microbiome and all the things that lead to a longer life.